Yes, perfect.
We need to be calling. Orient labora was the saying of the early alchemists, and they prayed as they worked. Help us to change the human to the gold that was intended for humanity. And if that prayer is ever needed, we need to, even this conversation, I don't know how many people will come and listen, Keith, but if one person is inspired to loosen up a little bit, not to pretend to know everything. Keith, I'm even sitting here, and in the New Testament, Paul makes the statement, if I say I know, if a man thinks that he knows anything, he knows nothing as he ought to know. That's 1 Corinthians 8:2. I mean, Keith, we are given a mandate out of the Scriptures to seek to know more. Paul said, comparing spiritual things with spiritual. He says in the letter to the Corinthians, is how we come to grace. Well, how are you going to compare things with spiritual if you don't examine the spirituality of the Native American? If you don't examine the spirituality of the Muslim mystic, the Hindu teacher, by comparing these things, and this is, of course, is what our friend Renford has done. He compared different things and found core elements that are universal with humanity.
But that would be the truth.
Exactly, Keith. That would be the truth, and that's what a truth warrior is about. Yeah, boy, this is fun. This is exciting.
Getting hot
and yeah, I just encourage people, because when you begin to wake up, and when some of the boxes get exploded, there's a little bit of it was for me, Keith. I can't speak for others. There was a little insecurity there. What am I going to do? This is a whole new way of looking at the world. My goodness, it was a whole new way of looking at the universe. Because, Keith, if I can accept the diversity of my Earth family, well, then I'm better prepared to accept that there is a cosmic family. Hello? And many dimensions of human expression in many forms, or human-like expression, I guess I could say. And I think each step is a progression. The old prophet said, here a little, there a little. That's how truth will be given. But to have this desire, there's another passage attributed to Solomon in Proverbs 18:1. Through desire, a man having separated himself seeks and intermeddles with all wisdom. I mean, there's an admonition implied there that a man is given a desire, and just like the conversation with Morpheus and Neo, a man will sense that something is there's just something more. Alan Cohen says, if you think there must be something more, then there must be something more. And, Keith, where there's smoke, there's fire. And when we have this desire and feel like, I just know there's more to that story. You read about creation, and you have this feeling, I know there's more to it than that. Because why did it say, let us make man in our image? A plural term is used. Well, then you start reading the Sumerian writings, and you see, well, yeah, there was more to it. Well, if you think there's something more, then there must be something more. And to give yourself the freedom to explore, to learn, and not come to hasty conclusions. Keith, I'll tell you, my jury is still out on a lot of things. And like I said, I don't have all the answers, but I'll tell you, Keith, at least we're open to the questions. And
Steve, hang on just right there, my brother. My guest tonight is Steve Lancaster. If you want to call in and ask a question of Steve, the number to dial is 347-838-9142. 347-838-9142. When you get in there, press 1, and that will flag the moderator, Cecil, who I'm so grateful to have. Steve, why don't you go ahead and do you have any information you want people to contact you through? Here's your moment to have people find you.
Sure, Keith. You can email me at stv.lancaster@yahoo.com. I'd be glad to talk with you, answer questions, discuss. you may ask me a question, and I will tell you that's the same question I have. When you get a good answer on that, would you? You know, as I said, I'm not just a spiritual teacher. I'm a spiritual seeker, Keith, and I hope I always will be. I hope I never graduate from the school of spiritual learning, because, Keith, this is an incredible field of understanding and knowledge. You know, I was really inspired reading about Emanuel Swedenborg and how this man, a brilliant inventor and scientist, and towards the end of his life, or actually midlife, Keith, he decided that the soul and spiritual knowledge was the most important knowledge that he could pursue. And that's what he gave his life to. But anyway, I was giving information. You can contact me by phone or send a text message, 662-671-2086, 662-671-2086, and I will be glad to speak with you, to answer a question. Or, Keith, I enjoy speaking. You know, we've spoken at Mary Ellen's Consciousness Fairs and enjoyed it. We've spoken together. We really have a great time with these subjects, and we're a little puzzled that things that seem self-evident to us are difficult for others. But I think, Keith, you and I both know it's fear and intimidation. It's fear that someone's going to deceive me, or the insecure. You know, I call it the tumbling house of cards. Once certain long-held views are found incomplete, all other ideas are subject to scrutiny. Well, now, that's an insecure time in life when you realize your thinking gets rattled. Your head gets stretched. You begin to see a bigger picture. I've had several expansive experiences, and I continue to have them, Keith. They expand what I think I know into broader parameters, and I love those experiences. You know, Keith, I think if people will open up, instead of being afraid of that, Keith, they'll come to look forward to those experiences. And
let me ask you this, Steve. Let me ask you this. Okay, for example, you have someone who's curious, and they want to seek some, and as you said a moment ago, they may be intimidated or afraid that they may be deceived. But would you agree that it's because they don't understand that it's your level of sincerity in your seeking is what not only guides you to the right information, but it also does protect you from having anything of bullcrap show up in your life that would actually tempt you and mislead you. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, Keith. You know, I was reading a man I respect, David Icke. Do I agree with everything? No, but I'll tell you this: I believe David Icke is a truth seeker, and he said something. I'll just quote from him: "Knowledge will be put in. It would be put into his mind. At other times, he would be led to knowledge." And he said something that once he had quoted an insider. An insider told him, "Mr. Icke, you quoted a disinformer in one of your books." He said, "But it was interesting, you only quoted the parts that he said which were true. How did you do that?" And David Icke went on to say, he said, "I only go with the truth that I feel okay about. I feel it resonates." We use the term resonates. Keith, there's something on the inside that says, yes, that's something you need to pursue. Keith, sometimes it's like eating a watermelon. You know, you've picked up a book or you've heard a speaker. Maybe you didn't agree with everything. You spit out the seeds and you eat the watermelon. You know, that's not real complicated. You take what resonates with you. And, Keith, I know I've had friends in alternative healing groups that really learn to respond to their body feeling strong or weak. You know, Keith, I think in the presence of a lie, the human soul is of such a nature that it weakens us to be in the presence of a lie. Now, here's the problem. I don't think a lot of people are aware of that. So they listen to the news, and
say that again, giving them repeat that again, just a little slower.
Sure. If you are in the presence of a lie, it weakens you. It literally, and I'm speaking literally, your muscles will display a reaction. If someone is not speaking truth to you, your body will literally reveal that by having strength, being empowered, or feeling weakness. And I think